Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront updates and another live stream. It feels like it's been ages, but I guess it's 2 weeks maybe since my last stream, and 1 week since my last video, I think, or when did I do my last video? Anyways, it feels like it's been a while since I streamed, but I guess it technically has been. The Classic Collection was a bit of a flop, so wasn't really much to cover there, was it? But I always like to keep in touch with you all, and today we got the Star Wars Outlaws trailer, and I was like, am I gonna do a breakdown? And then I realized, I know I'm gonna get like 2,000 views on a video covering Star Wars Outlaws, as I'm seeing most other YouTubers do, so why not just do a live stream instead? I kind of enjoy that more when I can actually talk with you guys, and we can kind of analyze it together, instead of just me saying the obvious stuff that probably everyone already knows, because it's a story trailer, so it's not as much to kind of analyze as it is in a gameplay trailer where I can dig into the details of the gameplay. It was a really cool story trailer, and I know, for instance, if you want like a really good breakdown, go watch like Star Wars Explained, because he knows everything Star Wars, you know? I don't. But yeah. Hope you're all doing well, guys. Janice, good to see you. Catherine, thank you very much for the 9 months in the Senate. Appreciate you sticking around and supporting. Thank you very much for that. RL Glitch Gaming, hello there. I'm doing very well, thank you. New hair indeed. Yes, actually, yeah, my hair is now matching that emoji you just used. I got kind of tired of the long hair after having it for a couple of years. And I was like, we had one really warm day yesterday, so I was like, what the hell? Let's cut off that hair. It's actually really nice, you know. We'll see if I regret it later, but right now I feel like it was the right choice to cut it out. Cut it off.
50:_Senate dying.
Hannes, how is it going? And thank you very much, Janice, for the 50 months in the Senate. Absolute legend. Thank you for sticking around the channel for so long. 50 months, that is 4.5 years, almost 4.5 years. Thank you very much, my friend. Appreciate it as always. Cryptic Knight, do you know when Kyber V2 latest is coming out? And no, I think that I kind of like what they're doing. Instead of setting a fixed release date and then forcing that out, they're doing a bunch of like play tests and stuff, and once they feel like Kyber V2 is stable enough and works, they're actually going to release it. So instead of doing like games do and releasing half-assed mess, since they're not bound to like a company or anything, they're just going to test it until it feels solid, and then they will release it. And I think that's probably the best way to go about it, to be completely honest. I'll be getting it through Ubisoft Plus that month, and if I enjoy it, I'll buy. Is Ubisoft Plus like EA Play Pro, kind of? How much does it cost a month? How's it going, Bombo Shiva? And I hope there's a South American community for Kyber. It's probably going to be tricky, but I really hope so too. Marcus, thank you very much for the 68 months in the Senate. That is a crazy long time. That's 4, 5, 5. Why am I struggling with the math? That's like 5.5 years or something. Holy shit, Marcus. Thank you very much. And Roman, thank you for the 079 super chat. As always, good to see you, Roman. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, like Janice, I think that's the hard part. Like, if the problem is not owning the game on PC, you can get it really cheap. It's worth it. The problem is if you don't even have a PC that can run Battlefront, then the upfront cost to play is suddenly quite expensive. But yeah, I'm kind of happy I transitioned away from consoles to PC like when I was a kid. I had the original Xbox and Game Boy and stuff, and then I just went to PC and never turned back. Even though consoles, like for playing like single player games, chill games, and games you don't really want modded, consoles are honestly better. But everything else, I mean, you can technically do all of that on PC. You can just plug it into your TV and play it the same kind of relaxing way. But it is obviously more expensive to buy a gaming PC than it is to buy a PC console.
A new donation to Battlefront.
Oh, there's the. Why was that so delayed? Thank you very much again, Roman. Appreciate it. I have all the trust in CJ, but to be honest, Outlaws just really has the vibe of a dull Ubisoft game. Janice, I share your concern. Ubisoft has released a lot of mediocre games. Obviously, I fully trust CJ, but I mean, not even CJ can pull off. If the game in its core is not good, nothing CJ does can fix it, you know, because he's not the lead gameplay designer. I actually don't know exactly what his role is, but I know for a fact that whatever CJ touches, he's gonna pour a lot of passion and great quality into it. But how the overall game is, I mean, that's impossible to judge already. Are you gonna be playing day one? Probably, but to be honest, for me, it's kind of like the worst timing ever. The official release day is most likely when I'm gonna have my big 30th birthday party, and the early access release day is when I have my actual birthday. So like, it probably couldn't be worse timed for me, because I didn't really plan to like stream and make content and play a game. Like normally, if a new big Star Wars game releases, I would play that entire week, 12 hours a day, and make content. And that's not really what I had planned for my 30th birthday, which is kind of annoying, because I could literally have taken any other date, and I don't know. But if I were just a player, having it release on my birthday would be nice, you know? We could just play the game. But, you know, as a content creator, these releases are honestly more stressful than they're fun. They're really fun too, but it just makes you feel like, oh, you gotta push out all the content, you need to be first with everything, and it's like, oh, I don't know. We'll see. I'm doing very well, thank you, Simon. I did cut my hair. It did not magically fall off. Ubisoft is always 50-50 how I explain it. Yeah, I mean, I really hope. I think this is going to be their first Star Wars game, so I hope they really, like, they don't just see this as another game they just churn out, but that they actually want to make it really well.
I am the Senate.
Greetings everyone, does the trailer look promising? I have not seen it yet.
Thank you very much, Eduardo, for the 53 months. I think it looks pretty promising. We'll give it a watch here again in a moment, and we can talk about the specifics. But I think it looks interesting, and like, yeah, it looks very Ubisoftified. I see what you mean. That's the thing. I think the story and setting is gonna be fun, because I really like the idea of being able to work with or against all the crime syndicates. And that is not just going to be a linear game like Jedi Survivor. Like, I really enjoyed that game for what it was, but to having something different here where you can kind of choose which way to go, I really like that. But how the actual gameplay, especially the combat and the movement and all that kind of stuff is going to be, that's going to be the kind of make or break point for me. Because if a game does not have satisfying, smooth, responsive combat, it's just an instant buzzkill, kind of. So that's going to be the important part, and that's really hard to judge early on, to be completely honest. Your hair looks so much better. Thank you, Catherine. I appreciate it. It's been probably 3 or 4 years since I had short hair. But yeah, I'm not fully happy with how it turned out, but that's just because I never really know how I want my hair. I need to buy some new hair wax, though, because I realized the one I had at home has dried out, because obviously I haven't used it for many years. So now it's kind of all over the place, but nice with short hair, especially now when the summer, we had snow last week, but the spring is kind of here. Swedish weather is so fucked. Like, last week, we had snow. It snowed last week. And yesterday, we had 17 degrees and sun, and I could play a round of disc golf in my t-shirt, like 1 week after we had snow. Swedish weather is just so whack. Valdrin, how's it going? Yeah, you're right. This is gonna be the first Star Wars game published outside of EA. That's other than like mobile and Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, that's what I've heard about Starfield. I never ended up playing it, but it seemed like it was cool in theory, but it kind of died down pretty fast. Yeah, Tales of the Empire honestly seemed really... I like... all the animation stuff the last couple of years have just been really, really good in my opinion. So I'm excited for Tales of the Empire. Did they confirm when that comes out? Red can bruise wax poem. Okay, I need to Google that because I still red can.
A new donation to Battlefront.
Thank you Skatvakit for the Atabaringen.
Marcus, thank you very much for the 100 Swedish crowns. You also got that Streamboss. Skatteverket and the återbäring. I'm happy you got that. Personally, I owe Skatteverket money instead, which I am not very happy about. So I might owe. Yeah, my accountant is trying. Something has been whack with my YouTube company thingy, unfortunately. So I might owe like over 20,000. I don't think that's. I think something's wrong. But even if that's fixed, I will owe like 1,500. So it's not too bad. But usually you get a bit of a återbäring, as you say. But I don't know. It's a bit of a shame. Wait, what did you say? Redken, bruise, wax, pomade. Yeah, I see it on a bunch of Swedish shops. So it has pretty high rating and everything too. So maybe I'll actually try out the tip. Is it like a bit shiny or is it very dry? Because I kind of prefer the ones that look a bit shiny, like wet or whatever you call it, and not the ones that are just super dry. Like the one the hairdresser used yesterday is completely dry, so you can't even see that it's wax in my hair. So I kind of prefer the ones that are a little bit wet, if that makes sense. Do you think Skydance new media will be like Outlaws? Could very well be, but I think it's going to be more linear. Oh, May the 4th. Oh, of course it released. Yeah, my friend's wedding is actually on May 4th, so I will not be able to do any streams or content or anything on May 4th, unfortunately. Yeah. Tax stuff. Yes, that is tax stuff, exactly. How's it going, Rothers? Good to see you too. I have not seen Shogun yet. If you choose pomade, it has some shine. Okay, all right. I might actually pick that up. I want to see if it is available on any. Oh, it's actually available on Swedish Amazon. Wow. Sometimes Amazon is so much medium hold natural finish. It's so much cheaper on Amazon for some reason than it is on. Wait, this one's 149 crowns. Oh wait, it's expired, no longer. Okay, interesting. Weird. Some of the shops were saying that it's like no longer being made. Oh well, I'll probably order it after the stream. Actually, don't I have still like a gift card I got from Google for it's only $12, not enough for the wax. Is there any news regarding a physical edition of the Battlefront Classic Collection? No. I know they did some physical releases for some classic re-releases, but the thing is, with how the Battlefront Classic Collection kind of flopped and things like that, I kind of feel like it probably won't happen. And I think when they released it, it was also limited to like UK only and things like that. So it might, I don't know. It might. I would guess it probably won't happen, but I could be wrong. Do you play Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? No, I do not. Have you seen Shogun? No. I actually recently started watching Game of Thrones. Yeah, I'm very late on that, but I'm a bit into. I've started season 4 recently, and now it's actually starting to get exciting. I also finished I've also finished Invincible recently. Kind of I really like Invincible, but this second season, after this episode, I was like, all right, nice. I'm excited for the next episode. And then I was like, oh, that was the season finale? Really? That's kind of the feeling I was left after seeing Invincible. I don't know if it flopped sales-wise, Janice. It probably still sold a lot, because, you know, Battlefront is Battlefront. It has been hard to get it lately. Check if they send you the right stuff. One time they sent me otherwise with no shine. Wait, so how do you know? So the one that's called Pomade, is that the correct one? It has to be Pomade and not Pomade or whatever. Here's a random ass website. This looks like a fishy member price. Okay, that seems suspicious. Oh well. Yeah, Invincible I've been watching for a while, David, actually. Or actually, I saw season 1 of Invincible way back, and now season 2 just aired, so... but yeah, Game of Thrones, very behind. Hello there, by the way, David, good to see you. But yeah, I've heard good things about Shogun. That might be the next one. I definitely agree, Simon. I think Bad Batch Season 3 is probably the best Bad Batch season yet. It doesn't feel like there's so much, like... filler stuff. It actually seems really interesting. So I don't know. I really like Bad Batch Season 3. That's why I'm so hopeful for also Tales of the Empire. They just seem to be really stepping up their animation game, both visually and storytelling wise. I haven't seen House of Dragon. I'm gonna see Game of Thrones first. Did you watch House MD? What's House MD? Wait, no, it can't be last episode tomorrow for Bad Batch. Isn't Bad Batch like a shit ton of episodes? Bad Batch Season 3, how many episodes? Isn't it like 16? 15 episodes, and how many are we at now? Bad Batch Season 3 episodes. We are... Okay, yeah, we're actually pretty far into it. So it was... 12, 13, 14, 15. We've got 4 episodes left, so it's not too long left, but still 4 left. Doctor House. Wait, do you mean house, like the house, the doctor, like the doctor house, whatever? I think I saw a couple of seasons of that when it initially aired, like many years ago. Yeah, for Star Wars fans are eating well this year, I agree. Like with Bad Batch, Tales of the Empire, The Acolyte. Games, we got Outlaws. That's the one thing that could carry this year, because Classic Edition was obviously a... Classic Collection was obviously a bit of a flop. How's it going, Brian? I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you doing? Hey, where is the strategy game you talked about that isn't announced? Do you mean the one from Respawn / Bit Reactor? That game is still happening. It just we don't know anything about it. Basically, it sounds that team seems really solid. That's making the game, but other than that, it's kind of hard to judge what it's gonna be. Wait, what other game? Oh, do you mean the real-time strategy game? Like, I'm not sure if that's what you talked about. One that wasn't announced. Well, the thing is, I think I've mentioned it once because it was a reliable insider who just randomly mentioned, like, on Twitter, as like not just a random person, but someone who has revealed a lot of stuff in the past. And I think he said something along the lines of, "Oh, I can't wait for like this Star Wars RTS game." And someone responded saying like, "Oh, you mean Bit Reactor's game?" And he was like, "No, I'm talking about another game." And that's about it. Since then, I haven't heard anything. So if that's the one you're referring to, like that's the only time that alleged strategy game has even been referred to. Like, obviously, I thought he was referring to the Bit Reactor game, but when someone specifically asked him about it, said, no, it's not that one. So, I don't know, it's weird. Are you gonna pre-order Outlaws or wait for the reviews? To be honest, I hope I'll be able to get some type of early access to it so I can actually make some content for you all. If I was a normal consumer, I would have waited for reviews. We all saw what happened with like Star Wars, the Battlefront, the Classic Collection. So if I was a normal consumer, I would have waited and simply waited for the reviews for any game, to be honest. But as a content creator, I will definitely get it as early as I possibly can. Yes, the Respawn FPS game is canned. What about those Battlefield 2042 news? I mean, yeah, like, I don't know if I even should be mad, because like no one wanted Battlefield 2042 to continue anyways, but it still rubs me wrong that they again like fix the game. They have a bunch of post-launch content, and I was like, oh nice, the game is actually in a good state now, and we're gonna cancel it, you know, like they did with Battlefront 2. But I guess the difference here is that we all know they're transitioning to a new Battlefield game, so I guess Battlefield players are still happy, because Battlefield 2042 was never really that ultimate game that everyone wanted. So the difference is that when they canned Battlefront 2, they funneled everyone to that piece of turd, Battlefield 2042, and wasted, like, imagine if they would have just continued with Battlefront 2. It's crazy. I'll definitely be watching a review before I die. Well, Brian, that's why I noticed today that some YouTubers actually got early access to the trailer, and even some YouTubers got sponsored to talk about the game, which was kind of surprising considering how far the game is off. I don't know. I haven't heard anything from Ubisoft. I did have some email contact with them back before the initial reveal, but I hope I'll somehow be able to get like early access or anything like that. It really puts you at a huge disadvantage when everyone else has it, or not everyone, some people has it, and you don't. Have you played the new playable version of Battlefront 3 a fan put together? I think his name is Legion. And no, I have not. I think I saw Bombastic doing that, right? We're going to the cinemas on May 5th to watch the Phantom Menace re-release. That would actually be really nice, but I will most likely be hangover after my friend's wedding that day. How did they get early access? Well, I don't really know. I heard that EA is focusing on their own IP. Does that mean we won't be getting any Star Wars games from them? Yeah, that's kind of how I interpret it too. They're still gonna do Jedi, like the Star Wars Jedi third game, because they know they've got a solid series going that will do well, you know. So they're gonna cash in on that series, but them doing new Star Wars games, it doesn't seem like it. How's it going, Max? Star Wars Unlimited is so sick, guys. Go check it out. The card game is legit good. Yeah, I've actually heard from a friend who got into Star Wars Unlimited that it's really good. It seems to have kind of blown up, and I'm happy that, because, I mean, like I mentioned in the past, I don't really play any of those games, but I've invested into Pokemon cards and Magic the Gathering cards, and so it was cool to see a Star Wars version of that come out and actually be really successful. I was almost tempted to invest a little bit in Star Wars Unlimited too, but I honestly don't really have any money to invest anymore. Times are tough, so I use the money I get to get by, if that makes sense. I don't have any leftover money to invest in stocks or cards or similarly, but it seems like that game is doing really well. I hope it's not just because it's new, but that it's gonna be a long-term thing. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. Thoughts on the Kyber servers update coming back, making Battlefront 2 last forever? Like right now, in terms of like the short term, at least short term future, what I'm most excited for is actually Kyber V2, because like I still love playing Battlefront. It just obviously gets a bit stale after years of no new content, but some of the most fun I've had in Battlefront the last couple of years was when they launched Kyber and we did those massive, like 20 versus 20 heroes versus villains fights and just some crazy mods. So that's kind of what I'm really excited for that. And the fact that I'll be able to like set up a Battlefront updates server, like a 24/7 server. I'm gonna pick the best maps, Death Star, Scarif. I'm gonna maybe put some jetpack cargo in there, just a rotation of my favorites, and it's gonna be available there for all of you to play, even if I'm not streaming or if I'm not online. You can still play on that server, and that's kind of like how Battlefront should have been. I love it, so I really hope they pull it off smoothly and a smooth launch. It's gonna be great. How's it going? Everything PS5 Pro. I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you doing? Good to see you, man. Favorite Star Wars movie is The Revenge of the Sith. Do you think the May the 4th event on Battlefront 2 will work? It hasn't worked the last few years, has it? So probably not. Asatru got the trailer early access. Yeah, I know. I actually asked him, and he said that it was through his like UK contact. So yeah, I don't really have any good Nordic contact. Where do you get the Celebration t-shirt? Well, I got it at Celebration. How's it going, Tad Kennedy? Thank you very much. Oh, did the May 4th event work last year? I keep mixing up the years, but yeah, it might work then, because it's all automatic. So if it worked last year, it probably will work this year. I wish I went to Japan for Celebration, but I can't afford it. Yeah, I really wish I went too, but it's just too expensive to go all the way to Japan for Star Wars Celebration. It's a great country though, so for any of you going, you're gonna have a great time. And if you're like on the fence, Japan is great. Probably one of the best countries I've visited ever. Yeah, I wish we had a Star Wars Celebration this year too. And what saddens me is that it's probably going to be a while before it comes to Europe again. Because, like, if it's in 2025 in Japan, it's probably going to be maybe 2027 in the US. And it might not even be the next one after that, which is in Europe. So, yeah. Can you check out the Battlefront expanded mod for Battlefront 2? It's an even bigger mod than Battlefront 2022. I will definitely do that when Kyber... I'm sure once Kyber launches, they're going to have like the best collection or best... Whatever is the best mod at the time to get the full modded experience. That's definitely what I'll be trying out. Will you start to play Battlefront Classic Collection when the hit reg and most issues are ironed out? I don't know. Like, I kind of still want to play it more for the single player, like play through the 501st journals and things like that. But hopping on the multiplayer, even if they make it a little bit better, I know I'm going to have a better time playing EA's Battlefront 2, to be honest. Even if they fix the hit reg, the multiplayer is just going to be more fun in that. So I'm not sure. I don't know if they make another Battlefront. Has any other game franchise ever been rebooted twice? Like, there's no way they're gonna make Battlefront 1, Battlefront 2, and then cancel Battlefront 3, and then EA reboots Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2 and cancels Battlefront 3, and then someone else is gonna reboot Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2. Like, has that ever happened? Like, new games in a franchise, sure, but an actual reboot multiple times, I feel like that's like probably not happening. Yeah, I saw that more people are playing the original Battlefront 2 on Steam rather than Classic. Good evening, the ADEP Glide Games. Sorry. I'm sorry if I messed up your name, but good evening. How's it going? Did you hear about the KOTOR remake news? Yeah, I heard that they actually said that it's still alive. I mean, I'm not gonna believe anything until the game is actually out. But at least that was an official statement that the game is still happening, so that's always something. Thank you, everything. Yeah, even if it's alive, I still think it's way off. Same thing as, like, Star Wars Eclipse is kind of the weirdest thing, because that's... Star Wars Eclipse was announced before Ubisoft's Star Wars game, right? And that game even had a trailer back in 20... I think Eclipse had its trailer back in 2021. So, like, they actually had worked on the game for a while in 2021, and now we're 2024, and we still haven't seen or heard anything about that game. It's so weird. Like Star Wars Outlaws has had kind of a, what I would say, a normal development. They announced that they're working on a game, and then a couple of years later they reveal the game, and next year they have a story trailer, and then release a gameplay trailer and whatnot. But like Eclipse, just okay, here's a trailer, we're working on a game, and then nothing for like 3 years. Like, what? It's so weird. We'll most likely get a new FPS Star Wars multiplayer game that is like Battlefront but won't be called Battlefront. I hope so. I hope we get a multiplayer Star Wars shooter, but it doesn't seem like we're gonna get that. What is the difference between Unlimited and Gold? I think Gold was still like Season Pass and Early Access, but Unlimited, or whatever that the biggest edition of Star Wars Outlaws was, I think it's like had a bunch of cosmetic stuff. I think that was mostly it. Randvar, how's it going? Are you excited about the new news about the KOTOR remake? Honestly, that statement, it was like, that little statement didn't change much for me. I am excited to have a potential KOTOR remake, because now that I've played KOTOR on the stream, I realize how good that would work in like a modern graphics and modern storytelling. I think it could be great, but they go actually pull it off, you know. What's your favorite Battlefront 2 mod? Are you excited for the new Jedi Temple map coming to Battlefront 2? Yeah, seeing that little like clip or images from the Jedi Temple map made me so excited, because like that's the one thing we haven't really gotten through modded maps in Battlefront 2. So I think that could be really sick, and I hope it works. My favorite mod, I remember there was Battlefront Plus, and there was the game mod which is called Battlefront 2022 or something. And I think I remember that Battlefront Plus was more balanced and honestly like more realistic kind of, but Battlefront 2022 had more like crazy and fun stuff. So I liked them both for different reasons. And I probably couldn't pick a favorite, but I think if I just had to pick one, maybe Battlefront Plus, because I think it was a bit more well balanced and such. But I don't remember. It was a while since I played them. Favorite memories from Battlefront? That's a tough one. I mean, just, you know, all the launches, hosting the official Death Star stream, the Battlefront 2 reveal over at EA Play with Dennis, and I don't know, it's a lot of cool memories. Meeting you guys, like at Star Wars Celebration, EA Play, or wherever else I've met you. I think those are kind of like my favorite like community moments, if that makes sense. Do people really want Outlaws? I think most people rather have a Battlefront 3. I think a lot of people want Outlaws. But like if you were to ask them if you want Battlefront 3 or Outlaws, I think most people would pick Battlefront 3. Even though I think the audiences might be a little bit different. Like Star Wars Outlaws is probably the same people who liked Survivor and like, you know, single player games. Whereas Battlefront 3 is very different. So, like, yes, I think if you were to have, here's a complete Battlefront 3, here's a complete Outlaws, what would you pick? People would pick Battlefront 3, like, majority would. But that's not really the situation we're in. Do you think the Skydance new media is the cancelled Star Wars game? I don't know, man. Like, I feel like Amy Hennig, now that she has her own studio, should hopefully be really well. Is Outlaws coming to Steam Deck? I actually don't know. Star Wars Battlefront 3 from DICE without EA touching it. Well, I don't know how much that can be blamed on EA and how much that can be blamed on DICE as to what happened at the launch, and also, like, yeah, the decision to focus on Battlefield. Well, it's probably a lot EA, but probably some DICE too, to be completely honest. Have you played DICE Battlefront 2 recently? Last week it was difficult to find a non-hacked server. Really? Again? I thought they fixed that. I think I played it. I streamed it 2 weeks ago. Was the last time, roughly 2 weeks ago or something like that. Is when I last streamed Battlefront 2. So I haven't played it since then. Do you think EA and Lucasfilm know about the outcry for a Battlefront 3? They have to know, don't they? I mean, there's no way they haven't seen the amount of people asking for that. I'm curious, what was your first reaction when Battlefront 2015 was teased? I actually don't remember, like, my initial reaction, because I remember, like, they released that teaser, and I think very shortly after that, I made this channel. I was like, damn. Because I think I've been doing YouTube on multiple channels, and I was, like, really looking for... I was just looking for something to, like, I want to commit to a franchise, you know, I want to dig into it fully. But I didn't know what. Like, I had a Call of Duty channel, it was kind of going meh. I had a RuneScape channel, I think, and it's like, what do I do? And then they announced that trailer, and I was like, hell yeah, they couldn't have picked a better franchise, because I grew up with Battlefront and played Battlefront 1 and 2 so much. So then I was like, let's make a channel. So yeah. It was fine 2 weeks ago. It started to ramp up last week. Man, I thought they fixed those hacked servers. God damn it. We need Kyber. Did you have a haircut? No, my hair just magically fell off. I mean, I just woke up today and I don't know, my hair was just gone. It just fell off, Roman, you know? It was like someone came in with a lightsaber when I was asleep and it just disappeared. Thank you, cool kid. See you later, Eduardo. Appreciate you dropping by as always. I'm definitely gonna look out for your hair wax. I'm being a bit worried that is my eyesight getting worse again. I mean, I got these glasses in, what was it, December or something, pretty recently. And now recently when I've been on at my PC, even with the glasses, the text is still a little bit blurry. So I mean, is it really possible that my eyesight is getting bad that quickly? Or is it because I've just spent so little time on my PC lately that my eyes just aren't used to reading? could be that, because that's what I like about my job right now. It's fun because obviously I get to do stuff from a hobby again. I somehow always manage to get a job within my hobby. If you're passionate about something, it's always possible. But I don't have to be much in front of a PC, which I have been a lot the last 7 years. So that's kind of nice, to be honest. I could literally go an entire week without. Well, I do have my laptop actually at work just to fill in orders and respond to emails and such, but very little PC time, kind of, which is nice. And I kind of just hop on here to make some videos. Like I made that Battlefront video last week and streamed today and things like that. Wait, last time I was playing Galactic Assault, we were forced to play heavy, and my whole team was 2, and we were floating in the air and could move, and the chat was like a hack. What the hell? Okay, it sounds like it's in a really bad state. I meant, is he wearing a wig? Yeah, I just put my long hair under, and this is a wig right here, you see. You can take it off. Poorly tweaked glass color. Well, the thing is, it felt perfect just when I got it. I think it might just be that I'm not used to looking at the PC. Where did you get your glasses? Well, I think it's called Specsavers, right? That's an international company, not a Swedish one, I think. Specsavers. How much did it cost? 1,000 maybe? I don't really remember. I didn't take I got pretty cheap glasses, probably less than 1,000, but obviously I had to do all the eyesight testing and things too. We didn't celebrate 200k subs enough. True, it happened in the middle of the Classic Collection launch. I wasn't really sure how to celebrate it. I'm thinking maybe we need to do another Senathon. Stream's been live for 40 minutes and it still hasn't watched the trailer. You're right, I kind of forgot about the trailer and no one asked about it. So why don't we watch the trailer and go back to talking after that? For those of you who might not have seen it yet. But it's a really good one. I like the storytelling.
Each of you represents some of the most powerful criminal organizations in the galaxy. Pikes, Crimson Dawn, Huts. It's a golden age for the underworld.
The Empire controls every corner of the galaxy, but they're distracted by a rebellion that won't quit.
It's an opportunity to make millions.
Vess, the underworld's favorite new scoundrel. We meet at last.
What do you want?
Zarek Besh. They're new, rich, and lethal. You crossed their boss Sliro.
I think, yeah, he
now,
might be the villain.
He wants you
But
gone. Rob his fortune and buy your freedom.
This
I
job?
mean, yeah, he might be a villain.
Death wish.
Like a fixed
I mean-
villain. But I think a lot of the other stuff
Here
is...
you live and die by your reputation.
It depends on, yeah, like your reputation
You
with
want to
the
survive?
crime
Know
syndicates.
the players.
You're new
So-
to this world.
What's your problem?
Come back when you're not.
So it might they might be a villain or they might be a friend, depending on
Look, don't try anything.
if you do work against them or with them. But you're right, there might be fixed villains like that guy
For
in the
about as
intro.
long as I can remember, it's just been me and Nyx. Doing what we have to survive. This job is my one shot at freedom. But if we're gonna
114
pull this
pounds?
off,
Holy crap. Well, I
we
guess I
need
would
the
like
right
to see some
crew.
past DLC and everything, but
and
still.
the right ship.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
Yes. Hang on.
I hire you because you are one of the best hunters in the Outer Rim.
She's more connected than you let on, Sliro. Bess is mixed up in something bigger.
The Outer Rim is a dangerous
I like the
place.
droid, the commander droid. I don't remember his name.
Everyone is fighting for their piece of the galaxy. But all I want is to live free. So I'm gonna risk it all.
Is that a Rancor pit he was sliding into? Kind of looked like it. And that's the
Wars
crate
Outlaws
dragon,
pre-order
right?
available now.
But yeah, I think it looks good. Like it's hard to judge just from the story. I just like the idea of having all these different syndicates with reputation. Like you can lose reputation, you can gain reputation. I think it's gonna be good. How the gameplay is gonna be, impossible to judge. I hope it's gonna be like good, because like if the shooting mechanics, if the combat and all that kind of stuff is not good, you know, that's gonna break the game for me at least. Who is the villain called? I don't remember. I don't know if they even said what he's called, to be honest. I think he hasn't been introduced before. Oh, well, I guess they did say what... I think they said what his name was.
New scoundrel.
Yeah, right?
We meet at last.
What do you want?
Zarek Besh.
Zarek Besh. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Zarek Besh, I guess, is the guy who's the villain. Whether he's just like a quick villain that you're supposed to rob in the beginning, or he's a long-term villain for the game, hard to say. I mean, even if all the syndicates and stuff are like they can become your friends or your enemies, I feel like you still need to have one strong protagonist, or no, antagonist. Always, you know, like in Survivor, it was always Vader or Trilla or I mean in Jedi what the hell? How do I not remember the name? Not Jarvis. It was called like what was it? What's it called? The guy. It was called. How do I not remember the two villains from Jedi Survivor? Oh my god, I can't remember the names of any of them. He was called the Gendai. Like the Gendai was called like not Jarvis, something like that. Javis. How do I not remember? And then how am I not remembering the names of any of the villains in Jedi Survivor? My memory with names is so bad sometimes. I'm really good with faces, but I'm absolutely shit when it comes to names for some reason. Yes, Dagan Gera. Dagan Gera was the High Republic Jedi, but Jarvis. What the hell was his name? What was the Gendai's name? How do I not Gendai Jedi Survivor? He was called Ravis. Almost. Jarvis, Ravis. Ravis was his name. But yeah. Do you think we're gonna get a boss fight? Yeah, I think most games kind of need to have boss fights. Otherwise, you know, you can't just have like grunt all the time. You need to have some bosses. You can just pay $14.99 for a month and play the game. That honestly might be worth it. Like buy it for pay $14.99, play it for a month, and either you will feel like, damn, this was really worth it, I'm gonna buy the full thing, or you might just be done with it in a month and then you've saved a lot of money. And maybe when the DLC drops, you can resubscribe for $14.99 again. And even if you do that for both of the DLCs, you're still only gonna have paid like $45, which is half or less than half than the Ultimate Edition, plus you have all the other games. So it kind of depends on how you play the games. Like, do you play slowly over months or years, or do you just go through them quickly? If you go through them quickly, yeah, it's actually better to get the Ubisoft Plus or whatever it's called. Are you gonna do a breakdown? Probably not, to be completely honest. Because if you want a really good breakdown of a story trailer, go watch Alex Star Wars Explained. And I'm not gonna be able to add anything that he hasn't already. And knowing how these kind of videos do on us Battlefront channels, I just know it's gonna be like 2,000 views. It's not even worth the effort, to be completely honest. If anything, it probably hurts my click-through rate on the entire channel. So unfortunately, no. Next video is probably going to be if there drops any other exciting news, or I'm going to make a bit of a longer one covering multiple things, because there are still some other things to discuss that I did put on my to-do list. I don't even remember what it was now, but I kind of like to cover multiple big news in a video, and not just one, if that makes sense. IGN has a breakdown from the developers. That might be worth watching then. It's the developers can usually give you some good insights. Would you rather have a Battlefront 3 but no more Star Wars films or TV shows, or no Battlefront 3 but we continue getting TV shows or movies? That's a tough one. But like, if I have to pick, I'm gonna pick Battlefront 3. I mean, in Battlefront 2, I have what? 1,200 hours of game time. That's definitely more than I have spent watching all new movies, TV series, and all of that since Battlefront 2 came out, from 2017. Like, I don't know, Kenobi, Andor, Mando, Bad Batch, Tales of the Jedi, Ahsoka. Combine all of those together, and it's still gonna be less than I've spent in Battlefront 2. So if I had to pick, I would pick Battlefront 3. For me personally, I would get more joy out of that than really anything I can watch. But obviously, that kind of choice would never come. But it's a fun little thought experiment. I'm curious what you guys think if you had to pick between the two. That's what I did for the Avatar and Prince of Persia game. That's smart. Yeah. I'm assuming you don't, like, you keep your save and all of that kind of stuff. You just can't play the game unless you pay. And with how expensive they are now, like, if you're planning to just play the game and its DLCs, like I said, if you pay for 3 months, it's still less than half of what the Ultimate Edition costs. Are you excited for the Mando movie or the new Jedi Order movie? I'm excited for kind of all of them, but the Mando movie seems more promising. I would choose Battlefront 3 too. I genuinely think Battlefront 2 is the best content made under Disney Star Wars. I mean, I'm fully willing to agree. I mean, obviously we're the core community of Battlefront, so we're a bit biased. But I agree, fully agree. Do you want a single-player game or no Battlefront multiplayer? Wait, what do you mean? Do you mean like a multiplayer game that's not Battlefront? I would still prefer that. I just want a multiplayer game. I mean, at this point, I'm kind of over Battlefront. I just want a Star Wars multiplayer game, and we're not getting that. We're not even getting a co-op game, you know? I kind of hope that Star Wars Outlaws would at least have co-op, but no, not even that. Nianso, how's it going? It's kind of a shame that the Battlefront Classic Edition just died down so quickly. I still hope to make some more content. I mean, it's weird how, I mean, I got crazy good views on my Battlefront Classic videos. I mean, 200,000, 80,000, 50,000. Like, those are some really, really good numbers, to be completely honest. But so it's such a shame that it just died down. I like that my latest video still did pretty well on... Oh, it's still getting some decent views, actually. The Battlefront 2 about the Kyber V2. Still doing pretty well, to be honest. Are they still working on fixes for the Classic Collection? I think so, yeah. They did say that they were going to release update 2. And we could see on the Steam DB that they were pushing out updates. So yeah, patch number 2 is definitely going to be dropping at some point. No worries, everything PS5 Pro. I'm happy you were able to tune in. I know I don't stream super regularly now, but happy to help you out, man. And glad you are enjoying the streams. Sorry that I can't stream as often as I did before, guys, but like I said, YouTube just isn't viable as an income source for me anymore. So, well, to be honest, like March actually was like March, even though I did do the other job at the same time, so basically I got double salaries. March was probably the first month in over a year that I did pull in enough views to actually like consider it a job or a full-time job. But obviously that died down completely with the Classic Collection. But it was nice to at least see that my channel still had that potential and I could get like a crap ton of views. So my channel is still there, lurking, you know. It's not going to get a lot of views on Outlaws. It's not going to get a lot of views on the TV series. But it is still there. And when something happens, like the Classic Collection, it just freaking blows up and I get the most views. I don't know if you saw that, but I got the most views in one day, or most watch time in one day. The second most watched ever on my channel. The only time I beat that out was when I was hosting the official Death Star stream for the first game. So, I mean, that was an official stream, like posted by EA. It's not going to get bigger than that. And that's the only day that beat out the Battlefront Classic Collection on my channel. So that shows how much potential my channel still has. But it just, you know, something has to happen. I can't make it happen. I can't force it out. It has to be like, if they announced Battlefront is happening, Battlefront 3 is happening, you know, I could just quit any job, you know. I could just be like, okay, my channel's back. But as of right now, it is going to be more sporadic content whenever I feel like it, whenever something happens, at least for the next 3.5 months or so, since I do work-ish full-time, I would say about 90%. It leaves little time and energy for YouTube, so I won't be forcing out any content just for the sake of making content, but I will make content when there's something interesting to talk about, something interesting to play, whether it's new TV series or it's for streams mostly, or if it's Kyber V2 or, you know, Outlaws, obviously, after the summer. But yeah. Any thoughts on DICE and their next game? Shut down Doom feeling. I think they're still gonna, I mean, DICE are always gonna live on. They might have done bad stuff, but like they're still a solid studio, you know. There's no denying that. There's good people working there. I'm assuming they're working on the next Battlefield, and they've done so for years probably. So yeah. What's your most anticipated new Star Wars game that's not Outlaws? I mean, if they wouldn't have canceled the Respawn FPS game, I would have said that. Now, other than Outlaws, I don't know, man. Like, what do we have? We have we have Eclipse from a studio that seems to have so much trouble. We have the strategy game that we know nothing about. We have the Amy Hennig game that we know nothing about. It feels like everything beyond Outlaws is just so far into the future and so like risk-filled that it might be cancelled that I don't even know. I was excited for Respawn's FPS game, like just for the sake of, okay, Respawn are making a shooter for Star Wars. That alone makes me excited. And then we heard all of that stuff about it being a Mando game. It just sounded great. And then they fucking cancelled it. So after that, I don't know what Star Wars game I am excited for other than Outlaws. And no, I've never played Dungeons & Dragons. If Battlefront 3 came out, YouTube would be viable. For sure. I mean, yeah. Again, Classic Collection kind of proved that. Favorite mode in Battlefront 2, Galactic Assault or Co-op is mine. I kind of agree with you. Co-op has grown to be one of my favorite modes just because it's so relaxing and a great way to enjoy the game. But Galactic Assault has probably the best gameplay. It's always risk that it's gonna be very sweaty and stuff, and at that point Supremacy is a bit more chill, but in terms of just pure gameplay experience at its peak, I would say Galactic Assault. And no, I haven't really played any Dungeons and Dragons games at all, Attila. I mostly, like, when I play board games, it's most stuff like Settlers of Catan, the Civilization game, Agricola, I think it's called. I've played Wingspan and some games like that. Not the ones that take, like, you know, hours and hours. I mean, the Civilization game and Agricola do take a couple of hours to be true, but not like Dungeons and Dragons campaign like length, if that makes sense. I just hope to see you on the regular. Well, that's the thing. I'm never gonna disappear. Like, there might be periods where nothing happens with Star Wars and my channel is quite like quiet. It's quiet. But, you know, there will always be the sporadic streams, sporadic videos, and if you follow me out on Twitter and especially like Instagram, you'll always see something from me. Like, I'm not gonna disappear. I'm not gonna just... So, like, again, Instagram, Twitter, follow me there for the short content. Mostly, like, Twitter is kind of like where I share all my Star Wars thoughts and updates and things, news, whatever. And Instagram is a bit more personal and sometimes Star Wars, sometimes disc golf. Yeah, go follow me if you want to. Well, I think Battlefront 2 at its end, it just technical. I remember one of the developers actually said on Reddit that if they were to continue with it, they would have had to do like a bit of a re-release because like there was technically the game was outdated. It wasn't built for a live service. And secondly, the file size was getting so large on the consoles due to all the content in the game that they were actually reaching their cap on how big you can or are allowed to make a game. I don't even know how you fix that. Like, you can't just remove content from the game, but obviously Battlefront 2 had a shit ton of content at its end. So I think like they could probably make some type of re-release, but it would require quite a lot of like remaking parts of the game and the core parts. Yeah, so it wouldn't just be like, let's pick up the game and make content for it. I remember they had a memory issue, so they had to give each Falcon the same icon. Was that really a memory issue? Weird. I mean, that seems like how many like kilobytes of space would a little icon take? That's like nothing compared to how large the games are. So that's weird. Kind of surprising, to be honest, but oh well. Mods are doing what studios don't do. I know, right? I mean, again, I really hope Kyber V2 is successful, because if it is, that's such a good long-term thing. It's gonna make Battlefront 2 live on for so long on PC and even like get new content. Maybe, I don't know if there's any big mods that have been released the last year, like actual game-changing mods, but obviously they're working on the map now, the Jedi Temple map. But if Kyber is successful, I think also that will attract more attention from modders, because if they know their content can actually be played on multiplayer servers, I would guess you feel more motivation to work on mods other than making like a mod that's only going to be played offline and instant action. Is not as exciting, if that makes sense. I don't understand why people hating in this game because it's a female character. I mean, yeah, like I like how glad that most people didn't agree with that, but like I saw that trailer on Twitter, and someone said, "Oh, it looks woke. I don't want to play it." Like, what? Like, how how on earth? It's like Star Wars Jedi Survivor trailer, Star Wars Outlaws trailer. The only difference is that there's a woman in one of them and a male in the other one. How is that woke? Like, if you actually think that's woke, I think, you know, you have issues. It's weird, Roman. But Roman, there's always weird people on the internet. Don't pay attention. That's like, yeah, it's weird because you never saw someone calling Star Wars Jedi Survivor woke, right? I don't know. I hate that. That's the laziest word ever. When you don't have actual criticism of how the gameplay is or the story is, just call something woke. Laziest as like word to use when you don't actually have any real criticism of a game or a movie or whatever it is. Laziest word that's ever been invented. How can a game be limited to how large it is? Well, because Battlefront 2 and the in general, the Frostbite engine, I mean, why do you think Battlefront 2 still looks so good? I mean, honestly, like Outlaws looks good. It looks good enough. Like but the graphics in Battlefront 2 are still, I would say, at least equal to the ones in Star Wars Outlaws. At least based on the trailer. I mean, obviously too early to judge, but like Battlefront 2 just still looks so freaking good. And that's why it's so large. It has a lot of content, and all the content that's in the game are so high fidelity that it takes so much space. Whereas like Fortnite, they can cram a shit ton of content in there because the graphics are way, way, way simpler than something like Battlefront 2. I mean, that's the thing DICE have always done well. No matter if it's Battlefield or Battlefront, everything just looks and sounds so freaking good.
I am the Senate.
Meow.
Danger Cat, how's it going, man? Good to see you as always, my friend. We talked a bit about Kyber V2 a moment ago, and man, I'm really hoping. I'm really glad you guys are taking your time. Don't rush out a release date like old games do. Just do some play tests, take it slowly, test, and then release it. Like, you're not bound to any EA or Ubisoft or someone like forcing you to release, or stockholders or anything like that. So I'm happy you guys are taking your time, because it doesn't matter if it comes out in a month or in 6 months or a year, to be honest. The important thing is that it works, because otherwise it's gonna die down. So yeah, I'm excited for it. I really hope they managed to get that Jedi Temple map to work before the launch. I think that would be cool. I changed to PC this year. Is it difficult to play on Kyber servers? Not a little bit complicated if you do want to do it now, but I don't even know if anyone plays on the Kyber servers, so I would wait until Kyber V2 comes out, because when that comes out, it's going to be extremely simple. It's just like basically download Kyber and launch it. That's pretty much it, and log in. So wait until Kyber V2 releases, and you can have the best experience. How's it going, Diogo? Yeah, I'm excited to see my stats too. I'm curious how bad they are. I bet they were really good like the first 3 years after it was released, and then it slowly declined when I've played less and people have gotten better. Slow and steady wins the race. Qui-Gon or someone, exactly. Did you see that the Aspire servers were taken off? Wait, the ones on Battlefront Classic Collection? They've taken those off less than a month after the game came out? For real? Those were the only servers that were like a little bit stable, at least. Will I be able to see my Xbox stats? Actually, could you explain that, Danger Cat? That's the one thing I didn't understand, because obviously Kyber is only on PC. How are you able to access Xbox stats, and how do you even show them? Do you like log into your Xbox account on PC? So you can't actually play Kyber, but you can see your stats or something like that? No, they're back. They have 3 times the service now. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. That makes sense. it must be pretty hard to make maps in Battlefront 2, both because, you know, how high fidelity everything was in Battlefront 2, but also because it's taken so many years and we still haven't, like, I remember I played some Kashyyyk, like, custom-made map that was kind of to be honest. So, but recreating the Jedi Temple seems to take a while. EA games on console require to link an EA account to play, so we can just fetch the stats through the linked EA account. Oh, okay, interesting. I really hope you won't run into any issues where, since you're fetching stats from EA accounts and you're logging in through EA account and Kyber, that they won't like dislike it and shut it down or something. Yeah, they might have taken the servers off to do some fixes. I'm not really sure. Do you mean in Battlefront 2? The balancing of the V. Yeah, I thought, yeah, the vehicle handling, the balance in vehicles were, I mean, so it's weird how like the speedy bikes in the original games were better than the ones in Battlefront 2. EA has been pretty welcoming towards Kyber. I don't see that changing anytime soon. I'm surprised, but happy to hear that. I mean, that's the thing. EA's community people, who I'm assuming are the ones you are maybe communicating with, have always been really nice. I mean, I'm really ashamed to see Jay go. I mean, I feel like I pretty much know almost no community people at EA anymore. Everyone's quit, got laid off, or changed roles. So I kind of like no longer know any EA community people, I think. Thoughts on Reva surviving 2 saber stabs and 1 from Vader? Yeah, I don't know. Then I wasn't a huge fan of the entire Reva arc, to be honest. It wasn't the worst thing ever, but he just wasn't done very well, if I'm gonna be honest. It would be nice to see this mod sooner or later. I really don't know anything about that and never installed anything like that before either. Hopefully it's going to be easy to install. That's kind of like what, yeah, what the whole point of Kyber V2 is. By the way, Danger Cat, if you want to, again, I know we talked about like, you know, maybe like at least maybe not a full-on content creator playthrough or whatever you want to call it, but or play test, but I would gladly make a proper, like, here's a video exactly on how to use Kyber V2. I just want to make sure that when I make that video, everything's finished, and hopefully I can have that, we can like collaborate so that I can have that video ready for when Kyber drops, and if you want to refer to it, you can do that. Otherwise, everyone going to YouTube and searching for how to play with mods, how to play Kyber, how whatever, is gonna see my video, and it's gonna be updated enough that it's gonna work for the foreseeable future, you know? Because there are so many people asking me, can you make a video on how to do it? Can you make a video how to do it? And I want to make sure I do that. So hit me up when you feel like Kyber is in a good enough state that I can film. Obviously, we don't even need full servers for that. We just need to make sure that the software and everything that needs to be shown works. I don't know if you're still watching, but if you are, I would love to do something like that. I did play some Battlefront 2 Classic mods like years ago. I haven't done it recently, but yeah, a long time ago I did. I remember I might even have made some video on that. I think I do have some video on my channel of playing like a Coruscant city level map or something like that. Do you think they will shut down the servers for both EA Battlefront games anytime soon? No, I don't imagine it costs too much to have the servers up and running. So I really hope they won't shut down the server. Because I think the negative lashback they would get from shutting down the servers while thousands of players still played, I don't think that would happen. Okay, perfect, Danger Cat. It's always good to have guides in both video and written form because, you know, some people prefer either or. So great. Let's sync up on that once. Just hit me up when you feel like it's in a good enough state to film some stuff. It would be nice to see official mod support for Battlefront Classic Collection. As of now, we haven't gotten confirmation. Well, didn't they manage to kind of make the mods work for Classic Collection, or did they not? I don't know. I feel like even right now, more people are still playing the normal Battlefront 2 version on PC, which means that it feels like it's not worth modding the Classic Collection then, or I don't even know. We also have tutorials built into the launcher. The way they work is similar to the in-game tutorial. That's perfect. I mean, making it as accessible as you possibly can. Sounds like the way to go. Well, most games never really officially have mod support, do they? Like, I mean, Battlefront 2 doesn't officially have mod support, but people still make the mods. Is it important to be max level for the Kyber V2 servers? Danger Cat, I'm assuming you're always going to have everything unlocked on the Kyber servers, like previously, right? Since some mods will use different star cards and whatnot, I think it makes most sense that everyone has everything unlocked, right? I don't know, because otherwise, I guess if you have like a fresh account, and because most mods, I think at least, replace star cards with their modded star cards, which means you get kind of fucked if you don't have it unlocked, I think, at least. Progression in its current implementation is purely cosmetic. In most cases, everything will be unlocked by default. Good. That sounds like the way to go. I think it would be tedious to unlock, and it also feels like it would be... It just doesn't make any sense to me, since you can do with different mods. Like if you have Battlefield 2022 mod and then Battlefront Expanded and Battlefront Plus, you have different abilities and different heroes. So progressing, I would be a mess. So that sounds like a plan. Wait, did you actually have communication with Aspire, BCC? Because I feel like they were pretty much impossible to get hold of. Is this the new Clash Royale update stream? Yeah, I've converted to Clash Royale updates. They're a very small team and are probably very busy. Yeah, with the flashback from the launch, I totally understand that. Will the player stats for Kyber also include mod stats? That's a good question. I wonder how they're gonna solve that. Like, if you get like a look at the kills you've got with, let's say like Han Solo, and then a mod uses Han Solo for like Cad Bane or something like that, or usually it's probably Boba Fett. If you then kill people with Cad Bane on the servers, will that give your stats to Boba Fett? Or how does that work? I don't know. Do you care about Star Wars Hunters? I mean, I will, once they release it on the Switch, I will try it out. I don't have my hopes very high for it, but I will give it a go. Thoughts on the Bad Batch? Season 3 has been great so far, honestly. I think it's the best season by far, and it doesn't feel like it has so much filler episodes. How's your favorite football team doing? Not very well, because, I mean, we had a pretty weak season start. We won the first game, second game we lost, but we met the best team that, I don't know, we didn't have a chance. But we did get a good defender. That made me get hopeful on the season. And guess what? Second game of the season, he gets a serious knee injury, and now he's out for the rest of the season. So yeah, my team is going to be screwed this year for sure. Is Hunters only coming to Switch? Yeah, that's what it's only mobile and Switch. I mean, imagine if they just made Hunters work towards all platforms. Like they made a console and PC version. That could have been a great game, but yeah. Ah, that makes sense. Makes sense, Danger Cat, I guess. Do you watch top 5 leagues? I'm not really sure what that is. They were planning lots of crazy stuff before, but after how people reacted, I'm not sure if it's still in the mind. Well, why would they like plan crazy stuff for the Battlefront Classic collection post-launch? I mean, you can't make an old classic re-release a post-game live service. Like, if you had some cool stuff planned, have it ready for the launch. I mean, yeah. Hunter's not worth it on consoles. I tried, it's so shitty. Well, it's not been available on consoles. That's what I meant. Battlefront Plus will include stats. We can support stats for other mods. That's pretty cool. So you'll actually have like Cad Bane stats. Oh, the 5 biggest leagues in football. No, I don't. I pretty much only follow Swedish football. I think that's enough. And I don't know. I know a lot of people watch like, oh, Champions League, but for me it's like I enjoy watching football I can relate to, local team and in my country. So I don't. Yeah, I never understood rooting for teams abroad. I understand that a lot of people like it, but it feels like a lot of people just pick the best team and then root for it. Battlefront spin-off or a new multiplayer Star Wars game in the next Star Wars Celebration. I feel like we're gonna have. I'm not very optimistic for the future of Star Wars games. I feel like they're just putting all of their focus into that Epic Games Disney merger thing, and that's gonna be like their main focus of Star Wars games. Whatever that is, that massive project, that seems like that's where they're putting all their focus. Yeah, the Battlefront series does definitely feel cursed based on everything we've been through. Yeah, Malmö is too good in Sweden. Like my team just met them this weekend, and Malmö is just another class. They've always had so much more money than the other teams, which means they have so much better team, and they just kind of outclass most other teams. To be honest. Live service, that doesn't really sound right. I don't think they plan to have live service support for Battlefront Classic Collection. Imagine if they would have done that. I mean, they would probably have said that at launch. Imagine if they had released it and then like, oh, we're making new content for Battlefront 2, the Classic. That would have been crazy, but yeah, I don't think that was the plan. But yeah, guys, I think it's gonna be a wrap here in a moment. Time to head to bed, kind of. Or I should probably cook some food for tomorrow's work. Or I just go to bed and I buy something in the store. It's the non-economical part, but it's the lazy part. If you don't have... What's that even called in meal prep? Like, we always in Sweden we say matlådor. Like, do you have a matlåda to the job? Like a... What's the English word for that? Food prep? Food meal prep? Maybe? But do you bring a meal prep? That doesn't make sense. Is there no word for matlåda in English? I don't even know. Yeah, I should probably check out the Radical Battlefront 3, to be honest. Pre-packed lunch, yeah, that might be it. 5 p.m. here. Yeah, it's about 11, yeah, a bit over 11 p.m. here. But yeah, I appreciate you guys as always. It's always great to catch up with you all. Let's make sure we do this more often. Next time, maybe I'll hop on some Battlefront 2. And obviously, when Kyber V2 is out, I'll be hopping on that too. But I appreciate you all. Have a great evening and the rest of the week. Thank you very much for watching. And as always, may the Force be with you.
Ever hear the tragedy of Darth Vader's life? No, I thought not. I thought not. Ever hear the tragedy of Master Windu? No, I thought not. I thought not. Do it. Do it. Now. Do it. Do it. The Jedi are taking over. Do it now. Do it. Now. Do it. Do it. I am the Senate. Do it. Do it. Now. Do it. Do it. The Jedi are taking over. Do it now. Do it.